everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Dig Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the REPAT podcast. And what we do here is we basically bring the diaspora experience in Africa. So we're both African American today, one Ugandan, and we bring that to the people to let you know the whole experience of living in Africa. So I'll let my brothers introduce themselves. Go ahead, family.
What's up, bro? Yo, so everybody, my name is King Obatunda. I'm glad again to be back here at King Uganda Nation. It's my first podcast with you guys. So thanks for inviting me. I really do appreciate that.
Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the usual suspect, Kim the Comic, here on the Uganda Nation podcast, and I'm glad to be here.
All right. And so, again, today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and that is surviving or moving to Africa during the second wave of coronavirus. Now, just a little short story. I met King Obatunda in the airport because a few weeks he had sent me a Instagram message, and I didn't reply. But then I saw this big, tall, 6'3" guy at Doha, right? And so we got connected that way, and then we started being friends. And he's been here the entire time. He never left. So he's been here since 2020. Me, I left in November, just came back in September. But I didn't notice that things are a lot different now than what I've experienced when I first came for that 11 months. Let's talk about what's the difference living here as a foreigner in the second wave of coronavirus in comparison to the first time, the first wave.
So the second wave, things have become more desperate in a lot of situations. The reason why, in my opinion, is because this whole curfew and lockdown situation has been lasting entirely too long, and it's not a clear transparency of information, so people don't really know what's going on or what to expect. So a lot of times, you got to deal with everyday situations either differently or exactly the same. And what I mean by that is like getting a boda, if you don't have your normal boda guy and you got to go out and deal with these other guys, you'll find that you got to do a lot more negotiating.
So for the people who don't know, boda guy's a motorcycle guy.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So if you don't have your normal motorcycle guy, and it's highly recommended when you come here, get your own guys for everything. Don't go out and have to, deal with a new person every single time because of this situation that's happening right now. I've experienced where if my usual guys doesn't pick up, then I got to go out and then I got to go find guys, and I have to negotiate with like 4, 5, 6, 7 different people before I find the price that I want and get to where I have to be. And then on top of that, we're talking about curfew. Curfew has become a big issue, a huge issue because people don't want to move at a certain time anymore. They're scared of, being lashed by police or whatever the reasons there are, they just don't want to move around after a certain time. And if you're going like where we are now, when I live in Muyinga, if I'm going from there after like 5:30, oh bro, I can't even get a ride. You understand? Yeah. So the situation has become more desperate, and the services have become fewer and fewer, in my opinion.
Okay. Go ahead, Kim.
I listen. I understand what King Obatunda is saying, but when you said desperate, I think you make it look like the situation is like very, very bad. Because the thing about Uganda is, and I'm going to speak in a foreigner's perspective, when you're coming to like a place like Uganda, as a foreigner, the biggest thing you should have on you is financial stuff. Like you should be very good with your finances, and not finances in the country. I feel like as a foreigner, if you come to Uganda, I don't know about African countries, you should have your own source of income outside Uganda. Yeah, you should be doing something outside here, and you're coming here just for maybe accommodation and, just to hang around and stuff. Because obviously, in most countries, there's a lot of COVID restrictions, and they've affected the businesses. But in Uganda, it has been affected more, especially for the local Ugandans, because basically we're not really prepared for like COVID situation. Like in terms of like working from home, doing online stuff, we're not really prepared for that. So it's like a whole thing that's new to all of us. Because as much as you are finding it rough, I believe the average Ugandan is even finding it worse. So, but it's just about, like I said, you need to have a very good financial source if you're a foreigner outside of this country to be able to have a good time, at least in this COVID situation.
I'd agree. And I think what he's saying, I think you used the word, was it more desperate? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said desperate, yeah.
For us, it's what it looks like. Because, when I was here in the first lockdown, it was a point where we had to just walk everywhere. Remember? Because
true.
We was all in the same apartment.
No cars, no nothing.
But here's the situation though. Like scams always happen in anywhere in Africa for foreigners. Even if you're like Kenyan and you come to Uganda, you might get scammed, right? But it's happening more constitutively, it's more persistent. It's more pervasive now. So every time, like just today, we went to, I won't call the Forex, but we was over there by Oasis Mall, okay? I sent some money to myself for World Remit. I'm with SPK. So the money that I sent was about 15 million shillings to myself.
Right.
So the guy tried to say, oh, well, I can't give this money in shillings, but I'll give it to you in dollars. Well, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to use my exchange rate. So it took my $4,500 to $4,300. And I was gonna go through it. SPC was like, hell no, don't do that. So I was like, no, hold on. I had to go to Diamond Trust Bank. And then so they gave me hella, so there was basically the guy was trying to beat me out of $200. Where in the first wave, I used to go there all the time and pick up that kind of money. It was no problem, even with the boat guys. Now it's always, oh yeah, my service is out. Or Uber, oh, my service is out. Oh, can you give me extra money? Well, the boat said 12,000, but oh no, it's not enough money. But see, you're seeing that more like every day now.
Let me ask about the Forex. Wasn't there like the rates available for you to see? I mean,
the rates are available for the see, but when you do World Remit is the middleman. So what happens is when you send like Western Union or MoneyGram, whatever money you already paid a fee through them to get the full cash. What he's saying is, here's the full cash, but then you got to pay my rate after you get the cash to make it even less.
Because he wanted money off top, bro.
Yes, but that wouldn't happen normally here. But it's happening now. So that's the difference between the first time and the second wife. Like, okay, there's a popular restaurant that I go to, I won't call it. It's in Bukoto, okay? And I go to a few Kololo, but Bukoto. The lady told me she was doing orders for deliveries with Safe Boda. You know what she told me? It's so bad right now. The Boda drivers are eating the food because they're so hungry. So she has to now take photos of the Boda driver and the license plate just to make sure that the food goes to the place because they're just eating the food. That wasn't happening the first time.
I don't. Maybe you can't name the place, but I don't think that's so common because it would have been somewhere. At least I would have heard about that. I think maybe it was an isolated incident because I haven't heard about that anywhere on like Ugandan Twitter or social media because maybe it happened in her situation and maybe that's how she perceived it. But we have ordered a lot of things here like food. We always order food here on borders, but it always arrives in good time. So I don't know, maybe there's just those two people somewhere who are just so hungry and just ate up the stuff.
Well, let me just say this. It's so bad that she told me that she has to photo the people in which they're doing it. So it could be isolating. Yes, obviously, not everybody's going to do that. But that was not evident in the first wave. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because things are more. Yes.
Also, maybe you said she owns her own personal restaurant.
We used to go there. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, like maybe it's also in, certain employers have become a bit tighter on even their employees right now.
Okay.
So maybe in her own restaurant, she could be like, I don't know if it's true, but she could be cheating them in terms of delivery service. And then they feel like they're being what?
It's possible.
Yeah, so it can't be a whole Ugandan problem. It should be.
Okay, fair enough.
Something about her restaurant, I think.
What do you think? Do you think it's worse or like now? Do you feel what's the difference that you feel now? Like,
now, okay, in my opinion, I feel like some things have gotten a lot worse and some things have improved a little bit. One of the things that I feel have gotten worse is me having to deal with this whole negotiating thing, and the prices have increased for a lot of situations, and I have to do a lot more negotiating to get the prices back down to where I want them to be fair.
Right.
Unfortunately, because like, for example, if I want to take a private car from my side of town to come over here, off top, they charge me like 50,000, 60,000 almost. And it used to be like 25, 30K.
Wow.
You understand? So, especially if it's later in the evening, later in the evening it goes, the price goes up even higher.
Right.
Because they feel like, I'm taking a risk, so you guys got to pay me for that convenience.
Right.
One thing I'll agree with you guys, the curfew bit. I think the curfew has messed up a lot of stuff, especially transportation. Yeah, because you see, like movement, if you get a border, let's say like at 5:30 p.m., it's gonna charge you a bit more because it's like, yo, like I'm not supposed to be moving after 6, so you better give me this money or just walk home.
Right.
So the curfew is one thing I'll agree that should not. I don't think it's really relevant because it's really putting a lot of businesses, giving them problems. Even like the street vendors. Street vendors, you remember, I don't know, you were here in Uganda before all this. People would sell things up to midnight.
Yeah.
Up to 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
So all that money is just being lost.
Yeah.
So basically, as a business person, you have to look for how to get back that money. So in turn, they'll just start increasing, like maybe by 2,000. Like a piece of meat which was like 5,000, you could find now it's 8,000. Yes. But that's not because they hate you or like they're just trying to rip you off. Okay, some could be trying to rip you off. Okay. But some are trying to like recover that lost money from those extra hours they used to work, which they can't.
Well, this is one thing I want to say. Most of the times when I'm ordering Uber, Bolt, or whatever, I usually get somebody that I know who's a Ugandan to do it for me. Because what you just said, you think that sometimes they're not trying to rip me off, but in actuality, in some situations, they are because of the fact that I'm a foreigner.
That's true.
Because the situations become more desperate, they know that because I'm a foreigner, I'm going to pay more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what I do is I get a local person to order my stuff for me, and it'll be at a local price, a price that is reasonable. You understand?
Right.
Now I'm not making it seem like these guys, like you said, they have to make their money. They have to survive somehow.
Right.
But they don't have to do it off the backs of all the foreigners because it's pushing us away. If we are a part of your economy, if we're coming here to be a part of the economy, to spend money, to do whatever, allow us to do that. Once you start increasing prices and things of that nature, that makes me not want to spend money at all. I'd rather give you nothing than to pay over the price. You understand? Especially the way that you come about it. You understand?
But King Obutunda, I feel like this is not new because even if you went to Ghana, Nigeria, and you're a foreigner, if they're selling something local at 5,000 to locals, they're going to really, even if they've increased the price for the locals, they'll increase it more a bit for the foreigners.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying that it's not new. I'm just saying it's become even worse now than before, in my opinion.
Right. And let me just say this too. From what I've noticed in just my 2 weeks being here, you see things like, okay, like ShopRite is leaving Uganda.
Right.
You see AfriSale is leaving. Game is left.
Yeah.
So when you look at that and then you combine it with the fact that I believe Rachel told me earlier was that, you had in the last 23 or 22 months, people like in primary school have only went to school like 1 month out of that year. So when you look at all of those things and then you look at all the people like that watch your channel, and I've been meeting quite a bit of African Americans that are coming here. Some guys from Dallas, Detroit, and things like Baltimore. The question is Uganda or any country, not just, like you said, there's problems all over Africa probably right now. Gambia, Ghana, I'm hearing the same thing. Is this the right time for African Americans to repatriate to Africa during this certain circumstance? Or should they wait it out just for things to get better before they come?
That's kind of loaded, but I would say, in my opinion, if you're asking me, it really depends on what you're coming to do. If you're coming here for like tourism, if you want to go see some monkeys or the lions or giraffes and stuff, then yeah, it's a good time to come because there's not a lot of people doing it and you have a chance to get out there. Unfortunately, even if you go to a safari right now, this is a fact. If you go to a safari right now in Uganda, you still have to obey curfew rules. So by the way, if you plan on going those long game drives at night, that's not happening anymore. If you plan on getting drunk at the bar, at the resort, that's not happening anymore. You understand? You got to do things at a reasonable hour. So that's the one issue that I have. Curfew has really significantly affected a lot of things. Now, on the plus side to that, this could be potentially a good time to come here and invest, buy a land, buy a property, residential, commercial properties, things of that nature. Because of the desperate situation, people are trying to sell what assets they have to keep cash flow. You understand? You're getting property at very reasonable prices right now. Unfortunately, it's a lot of uncertainty. So it's just, if you plan on coming here to set up like a major multi-million-dollar industry or something of that nature, that might be a big risk. So anybody who does plan to come here, in my opinion, you got to look at all the risks that are involved. And there are even more now because of COVID than there was before. So I would just say that piece. Yes, it's a 50-50 coin right now.
Personally, like I said, it's any time is the right time depending on what your source of income is. Any time can be like, even if Uganda was doing so badly and you have a source of income outside this country, you could just pass by for like a month, 2 months and not be affected by the whole situation intensely.
Yes.
Right.
So my major point is, as a foreigner, maybe it's not the right time to come and try to make money in Uganda.
Okay.
Like off local businesses and stuff. You could come as maybe like a tourist and just pass by and what. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that the economy is doing so well, like we're flying. Because you just put my name on it. But what I could say is, if you're coming to like tour and get to know the culture and stuff like that, that's perfect if you have your finances in check.
Right.
But about investing, that one I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that it's the best. I'm not sure personally. And I don't think it's personally, even local Ugandans are scared to invest. Right. Because the thing about Uganda is, like, if you let's say you're setting up like real estate right now.
Okay.
Who's going to stay there? Obviously, there are people who stay there, but it may take you a longer time because of the COVID situation to get clients for your real estate, because no one is really having. There are people who have the money, obviously, through certain weird things and also legit ways, but they're not as many as they were before.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, and also I want to clear up a certain thing about the whole game ShopRite thing. Okay, this is just my own theory.
Okay.
Game ShopRite, those are establishments that have been around for a long time.
Right.
But maybe I don't know, but I have not seen them promote an online service for those places. Like
ShopRite, you can order things from ShopRite through
online.
Yeah. So they have partnerships. They themselves don't own it, or they have partnerships. I
feel like maybe if they had taken that route a bit earlier in their time here, people would have gotten used to it. Like, we don't need to go downtown to ShopRite to get this and this. We can just be doing this. Like Jumia is here and it's flourishing. It actually flourished this whole COVID season because people were actually ordering.
Right.
There's not much competition.
So that's what I think these companies didn't look at earlier on.
Look at Glovo, for example. Glovo just popped up during COVID.
Right.
And they started getting big during COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was during, the end of last year, this year.
Yeah, Glovo's also in Europe too.
So some problems are just because of delayed adaptation to situations.
That's
right.
True.
They didn't maybe look to the future about certain pandemic situations and that.
That's true.
Well, let me kind of go on that. Let me ask you a question, because I even noticed that, my attitude has already been sort of adapted to Uganda since I've been coming, but I'm feeling like I have to adapt more now to certain things. So let me ask you this, because adapting for a person that's never left America and is now coming here, what kind of mentality would an African-American or somebody from, even for Ugandans who have left and they're in London or someplace else or Canada, what kind of attitude should they adapt if they want to come back to Uganda or any country in Africa, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think we need to adapt more patience because, for example, there's a video floating around of an African-American brother slapping up some Ugandan dude for getting cheated. You understand? I think if the individual had more patience in that situation, had more understanding, things could have been handled a lot differently. These things are going to happen, and they might happen more often now because of COVID. But regardless of it happening, you got to have more patience and understanding of why it's happening. You understand? I don't believe that under normal circumstances people will be getting cheated or be getting scammed as much as it's been happening. Right now. Not to say that it's rampant right now in Uganda. It's not like that. But I'm just letting you know that if you come here, just have more patience and more understanding as to why things are moving as slow or as unpredictable as they are and why people are behaving the way they are. You understand? That's just my opinion.
That's a very good point, because if local Ugandans, I'm not trying to compare the situation, but we have been played by our own selves a lot. And if the solution was making someone kneel down and slap them on internet, they'll be like, probably 2 million videos of people slapping. So it's just adapting to the situation, like patience, like you said.
Yes.
Things here move a bit slower than the US. Yes. And if you get played by someone, it's not that, maybe sometimes because you're a foreigner, but like this is happening even in the local culture. So like, it's not like they're like, there's one American that was played and that's it. People are also playing their own Ugandans. So that situation was handled badly.
That's why I'm saying have more understanding, because a lot of us, we come out here and think that we're being singled out. You understand? Right. We're not always being singled out. It's just, circumstances and situations that arise. But like he said, if people here, the own local people here are getting scammed by their own people, then don't feel like you're being singled out. Just understand the situation.
Right. I think like for me, Because, I've been coming to Uganda trying to set up this project since like 2017. So it's been like a lot of work, a lot of building the community, building a team and things like that. And I think that, number one, like if you're coming from America and you're coming to Uganda and you've never been like an entrepreneur before, then it's a really tough time to like get involved into entrepreneurship because you're dealing with a volatile market. And then also like what industries do you really know? Yeah. Now there are things like shout out to Enterprise Uganda. There's a guy named Charles Ochichi does a really wonderful job here
on NTV.
Yeah, he's a really excellent guy. So Mr. Ochichi, if you're watching, I'm a big fan of yours. I think that African Americans or anybody from the diaspora, I don't care if you're Ugandan, you living abroad. Like if you got to come here, you're no longer going to be working, and that's true at any time, right? But it's even more so now. And now whatever you're trying to do is you're going to be depending more or less probably on export currency, or foreign currency. Like if it's YouTube or if it's something you're doing in Forex, like, those things you need to have ready before you came here. Because even me, and I was doing okay before I got here, but I would always say, damn, I wish I had more money. I wish I had more money. I wish I had more things going for myself. Because you don't want to get here and then figure out like, oh, I'm in Africa, I'm smarter than everybody, so it's going to work. And it's not going to work. Not because these people understand their terrain. Yeah. You're like, and I'm saying these people, I'm talking about the Ugandan people. Yes. Anywhere in Africa, you're not smarter than them on their own playing field in the stuff that they already do.
And you can't out-hustle a hustler, bro.
Right. So you have to, be trying to bring something different to the game. You're going to be competing against people who are already very talented. Some people have a lot of money here. So it's not like, because you have to survive here. People going to the Gambia, people going to Tanzania. Let's talk about that real quick. Because we did a video that is pretty good. Yeah. People are going to Tanzania and going back.
Yep.
Why are they having such a hard time surviving in Tanzania?
Because they're misled in believing that, it's going to be so much easier because Tanzania's economy is different than UG or wherever else. They feel like, there's more black people there in TZ, so let me go there. Maybe I'll get connected. Then you find out, it's just as disconnected as it is there than any other place.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's this whole misconception of believing that if I leave here and I give up everything now and I go somewhere else, then I'm just going to be so much more successful than I am now.
Right.
But it's not always up to the area. It's up to the individual. You yourself could be messed up, or whatever you're doing is not right, and your business just ain't right, and you're not changing nothing about what you're doing, and you think the location is going to make your business improve. That's not at all. That's not how business works at all.
Yeah, also lack of research, man.
Oh my God.
Some people come to Uganda or like any African country after like watching 4 YouTube videos and like, I figured it out. They know everything now about Uganda. And then you start cussing the country, yet the problem could be your lack of effort in researching.
Yeah.
Like you cannot come here for two days and talk about how Uganda did this and that without knowing the background of all the certain things that are going on.
Right.
So yeah, certain times it's your own fault, not Uganda's or any other African country. Certain times you have to really sit down and get connections, talk to people about different things in the country. Come to learn, basically. First learn before you settle or before you get into anything.
Right.
You guys, know how long it was until I really started getting out into this business stuff and really started networking with people and moving around. It took me more than a year to get comfortable to really be in that environment.
Right.
One thing I know about Ugandans is that when you want to do business, it's a lot of meetings and talking and sitting down. Yeah. It's a whole lot of this words and stuff. Where we're from, we're used to action, a lot of action. We talk about some things, we work things out. Once we both have an understanding, all parties that are involved have an understanding, then we move into the action. Here in UG, you really got to have patience with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And people who come here often don't have that kind of patience. Yeah. They have the same mentality they had in America, and they come here and they don't know nothing about African people time. Right. Not saying anything disrespectful. There's a thing called AP time here. You really got to understand things much slower.
A lot of flaking too. You can ask people don't show up for.
That's another thing. You make plans, you make deals, and the day that it happens, you're calling up. They're either not answering their phone, they don't show up, they're in jam, they can't find a ride. It's always something.
I want to clear up something. Sometimes when a Ugandan flex on you, it's because, sometimes you could meet someone and then something doesn't work out. You see, this is one habit I think we should change personally.
Okay.
We never really come out to say what the problem is. We just flake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like if you met me and maybe we had a business deal together, then I find out that maybe I don't have enough money actually to invest in the business. Yeah. Some Ugandans might not tell you that. They'll just flake on you. And then you'll be like, this guy is shit. He doesn't even respect her. Yeah. But he just feels like, okay, it's a certain small culture here where you just don't tell someone exactly the problem and you just keep quiet. And then obviously, for you're going to look at it like, this is a very unserious person. Why the hell is he doing this?
Right.
So that's one thing I think we should change personally.
Yeah, no, those things happen. It's happened to me a lot of times. And one thing I can say about, even being in here in this time is just focusing on what I can control.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of times, you come and it's people having these problems in the African American community or diaspora community all through like Ghana, Nigeria, wherever they're reselling, Gambia, Tanzania. If you hear the same problems, it's like the same thing. So I think that, again, researching, understanding what area you're going to be in, if it's agriculture, that's still going to always do good. If you don't understand how to do it, then you find out how to do it. It takes time, right? Like everything takes time. Like, and I shout out to the brother I was just interviewing in Luzira. He was saying that people want a quick fix in Africa. It's a time thing.
Yes.
It takes years, right? It's not like this project from even this channel, this podcast, it took me like 37 months to even get this good. You know what I mean? And we still don't even make that much money on this channel. Right. So it takes time to develop. And you can't make it happen as fast in America because you got to find the team. You're dealing with different cultures in business. You have to be the person that you're training people. You have to be able to convince people to do things your way. In American way, it's not always what works here.
Right.
You have to try to combine the two to because everything can't be done on I told Kim the other day, I said, if this was an American job, everybody else would be fired except for him on this team, right? But the reality is that you can't treat even employees the same way because it's a different, you can't,
definitely.
People don't have that same.
And then here in Uganda, they don't work by the hour. Yeah. So you can't treat them a certain type of way.
Right.
You want to build a house. These guys are going to tell you, okay, we'll get it done at monthly basis. Like, give us 6 months or whatever.
Even as the time thing, even like as a solo independent worker, like let's say you're a photographer, you'd have like a fee you charge. But then when you go to the event, you end up spending like the whole day there for that same particular fee.
Listen.
And you're not going to sit down and, you can complain, but like at the end of the day, they're the ones paying you and they'll dictate what's going on.
This is one thing I wanted to say earlier. When I first started making a little bit of money here, I used to have an issue with that as well because I was expecting, I'm used to getting paid by the hour and stuff like that. And I'm used to like, if my work goes over a certain time, then I have no issues coming to you and telling you, yo, look, y'all pay for this. I got this much done. This is finished. So, y'all got to compensate me for the rest of my time. And a lot of times I get into situations where that wouldn't happen because here in UG, that's not how it is. They pay you for the day, you're going to be there for the day. But they won't say, I need you for the day. They say they need you for an event. That event could last the whole entire day. And then the second thing I had to get used to was not getting paid the same amount of money like what I could request in America. I have to charge like half that amount here because it's UG. And because it's COVID, sometimes I charge a quarter of the amount. Because people just ain't got it like that. But I got to make ends meet too.
Right.
You understand?
Okay. Well, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, this is another great episode of the REPAT podcast. I thank you guys for listening. Check out Kingo Batunda's YouTube channel. We'll put it.
Check me out.
First comment pinned to the top. Guys, any last words you guys want to say?
No, that's about it, man. We'll wrap it up.
Just research, man. Just research wherever you're going.
Man. Be humble when you come out here.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Peace.